To choose the right inverter battery, we have to take care of many things. Only then can you buy the correct inverter and battery for your home. However, everyone's need is different. That is why everyone needs a different inverter and a different battery. But even then, by keeping some common points in mind, you can choose the right inverter for yourself. The main job of an inverter is to run the load of your home. But when it comes to technology, you will find many different inverter technologies in the market. That is why you have to see which technology inverter will be more stable for you. But when we talk about an on-grid system, there we do not look at the load capacity. There we look at our requirement, because an on-grid system is always used to reduce the electricity bill. So if you want to reduce the electricity bill, then we have to look at how much electricity bill we get. So here, first of all, you have to understand how many types of inverters there are with which you can connect solar panels. And in the last, we will tell you how you can save money if you are installing a complete solar system. So first of all, as our question is, how many types of inverters are there? So here, technology wise, there are only 3 types of inverters: grid-tie inverter, off-grid inverter, and hybrid inverter. But even these have further different types. For example, inside grid-tie inverters, you get 2 types of inverters: micro-inverter and string inverter. Similarly, inside off-grid, you also get 2 different categories. Here you get transformer-based inverter and transformer-less inverter. Along with that, inside transformer-based also, one more category is formed further: MPPT and PWM. In the same way, inside hybrid inverters, you also get 3 types of hybrid inverters. The first is the micro-hybrid inverter, which is made by combining micro-inverters. The second is the transformer-based hybrid inverter. The third is the transformer-less hybrid inverter. And so this is the technology part. Now here you have to see what type of solar system you need. On that basis, you can move forward and choose the inverter. Here, if you want to reduce the electricity bill, then you only have to choose a micro or string inverter. If there is shading on your roof, then you can choose a micro inverter. If you do not have any shading problem, then you can use a string inverter. The second point is about off-grid inverters. These are specially used in power cut areas where power cuts happen very frequently. That is why we have to charge the battery from solar and run our load. Here, as I told you, inside off-grid also, there are transformer-less and transformer-based inverters. If your budget is good, then you can take a transformer-less technology inverter. If your budget is low, then you can take a transformer-based inverter. But here also, it is very important to see the technology. Between PWM technology and MPPT technology is the best and you should choose that. PWM technology is a little old. In this, you get more budget-friendly inverters. Now let us talk about hybrid. As I told you, inside hybrid, you get transformer-based and transformer-less technology inverters. Transformer-based inverters are available very cheap, whereas transformer-less technology inverters are feature-rich. That means you get many more features inside them. That is why their cost is also higher. So now here, you have understood which inverter is right for you. If you still do not understand, then you can ask by commenting as well. Now let us talk about size. Which size inverter will be right for you? As we told, an on-grid system is used only to reduce the electricity bill. So there we do not see its size according to load. There we see how much power we need from solar panels. For example, if your per day power consumption is 5 units, then you need 1 kilowatt of panels. Similarly, if your power consumption is 25 units, then you need 5 kilowatt of solar panels. But here inside on-grid, you can install 5 kilowatt solar panels on a 4 kilowatt inverter. So in this way, you do not need to buy a 5 kilowatt inverter. Simply, you need only a 4 kilowatt inverter. You can install 5 kilowatt panels on it. Now, if we talk about off-grid or hybrid, then in both of these, it is important to see the load capacity, how much load you want to run, because our load does not run directly from solar panels. So whatever load you want to run on the inverter, you should calculate all that load. On that basis, you can choose the inverter. Suppose in your home, you have normal lights, fans, refrigerator, washing machine, and television. Such small loads and their total consumption goes near 1 kilowatt at peak time. Then you need an inverter that can handle a 1 kilowatt load. So for this, you should take at least a good quality 5000 VA inverter. If you want to run a 2 kilowatt load, then you should take a good quality 3 kVA inverter. And to run a 3 kilowatt load, you can also use up to 3.6 kilowatt hybrid inverter. So now you will understand which type and which capacity you need. After this, you have to see the brand and warranty, because many people in the search for cheap products buy an inverter of any brand. Later, they do not get service and problems arise. So first of all, you have to find out which brand can provide good service in your area. Although mostly brands work pan-India, that means service is available all over India. But there are many areas where service of some brands is lacking. That is why first you have to find a good brand in your area. And within that brand, if you choose the inverter by keeping in mind the common points we discussed, then you will be able to choose a right and stable inverter. But when it comes to batteries, there are 2 types of batteries that are most popular in the market: lead acid and lithium. So choosing between these two is very easy. If you do not want to run heavy load, that means around 400 to 500 watts watts load or around 600 to 700 watts load, then you can use a lead acid battery, and even there it will be better if you use two batteries, because inside lead acid batteries, as soon as we run heavy load, the backup time reduces. Here on YouTube you will see many videos
where you are shown a calculation that for so many hours of load you should take so many ampere hour batteries.
That calculation does not work everywhere. That calculation works only when you run load according to the battery rating. Here let us talk about an example. From a 150 ampere hour battery, you can get from 0.6 unit to 1 unit of electricity. It depends on how much load you are running. If you reduce the load, that is, if your load is running around 100 watts, then maybe you will get 1 unit. If your load is running 500 watts, then you may get only 0.6 unit. But with lithium batteries, it is not like this. Lithium batteries support very high charging and discharging current. That is why you get almost the same power as written on them. Although there are some losses from the inverter side, if you reduce that, then you get almost 90% backup from a lithium battery. Let us talk about an example. If you have taken a 2.6 kilowatt hour lithium battery, and if you run a 1 kilowatt load on it, then you can run it for around 2.5 hours. But here, if you run a 1 kilowatt load on a lead acid battery, then you will hardly get even half a unit from that battery. That is why I would recommend here that if you want to run low load, then take a lead acid battery. Otherwise, take a lithium battery. However, in the market now, lithium batteries are also available at very good prices. For example, with UTL, you get a lithium battery equivalent to a 150 ampere hour lead acid battery for 16,000 rupees. Similarly, you also get it with Starline brand. You also get it with Eastman brand. So their batteries are very budget friendly. And inside these batteries, you get around 4,000 plus life cycles. That means these batteries run for around 8 to 10 years. But if you go with brands like Day, then you get batteries with 6,000 plus life cycles. They are a little costly, but their life is more than 10 years. So totally, it depends on your budget which lithium battery you should take. And here, as much as possible, try to purchase inverter and battery of the same brand so that you do not face problems at the time of service. Many times it happens that if your battery is giving low backup, the inverter brand may say that the battery has a problem. The battery brand may say that the inverter has more power loss. That is why you are not getting backup. Because if you have taken a transformer based inverter and also installed a lead acid battery, then the overall efficiency of this system remains around 60%. That means you charge the system with 1 unit and later you get only 0.6 unit back. And to avoid this, if you use a lithium battery plus hybrid plus transformerless inverter, then the efficiency of this system can be more than 90%. That means if you charge with 1 unit, then you will get 0.9 unit back. So I hope now you have understood which inverter and battery will be right for you. Now let us talk about some best inverters. Here are some inverter batteries that you can use for your home. We will make separate detailed videos on these, explaining which is the best inverter for 1 kVA, 3 kVA and 5 kVA. We will bring such different videos for each type. That is all for today's video. Thank you.